Okay, so we're just going to continue with these videos until there's no more videos like this. In the meantime, as I'm doing this, this was just a test run, okay? Apparently, you can dehydrate yogurt. So, that's what I'm trying to do. It was advised through reading that the Greek yogurt is the best. In terms of it's thicker, it dries differently. It obviously is plain yogurt, but it's Greek yogurt. Whereas this one, I'm trying to show you the difference on the fly, was a plain yogurt, but it wasn't Greek, and you can see how thin it is. And it's hard to get off the tray. Where the Greek yogurt is thicker, dries differently, and comes off the tray much better. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, can you see? This is actually box number 2. Box 1 was the peppers that I did, frozen and unfrozen. 12 jars. They're already downstairs, and those were only half pints. This is, well, we seen what we did there with the parsnips, 5 jars. And then because I needed jars to continue filling up what I had left over in the bags. You can see that's whole milk powder. Okay? And then they go downstairs, and then at some point, when I'm down there, there's certain jars that I have to open up and put, and more, I have other jars, and do it all at one time, oxygen absorbers. Because you can't really vacuum seal this. It doesn't work. An oxygen absorber is the best if you want to put it away for long term, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So, I just wanted to point that out. Hold on. Oh yeah, on the subject. So, I have a bowl full of this already, okay? After I'm done and I grind it all up, I'm probably going to put it into 500 in 1 pint size jars. I'm hoping to get 2. Leave 1 upstairs and put 1 downstairs where the milk powders are, because this is a milk product. So you want to store it in a really cool place. Tight in a jar. And I would think if it's long term, just like with milk powder, right? You would put an oxygen absorber, oh, I'm tired today, people, into the jar. That's if you had more than 2 jars, right? And you wanted to do this for a while and, you know, build yourself up, let's say 6 jars, 12 jars of dehydrated yogurt. If you wanted to store that long term, I would think it would be the same principle as if you would with the skim milk powder and the whole milk powder, right? Just saying. Okay, so moving along, 1 jar full. I probably have enough to do another jar, and that's those red potatoes that I was going to can in quart-sized jars, but I didn't have the jars, and I had to get on with the potatoes. So that will be 2 jars gone, right, in terms of moving this stuff out of here. I wanted to change this jar, although I like this jar, right, just because it needs a cover. I'd have to take time to sew and make a cover for it, some kind of cover, right? You know, like this was a cover for just cover it up to keep the light out of it, right? Because those are those peas that should be sproutable. I already have in storage, right? This is supposed to be for me. Only I don't have a lot of counter space, people. I really don't. Okay? So, well, this is what I'm thinking. This is a mixer. An old school mixer when I had my first son. All right, and he's 37 now, so that's old. I don't know when I got it. I don't know, but I got it long time ago. So I think I'm going to pull that out and try and fit these in so that they're there and I use them. These are old beans from back in the day. They're what are they? Romano beans. Okay. Even if they're old, that's okay. You can make flour with them. And if they're old, they'll just take longer to cook and they won't be as soft, but they're still edible. So I want to get on with it. And when the time comes, I'll even try and sprout some, see if they sprout. So I want to keep these handy. I think it would be impractical to change the jars, right? Because I've only got 4 jars left. Now I do have 2-gallon jars coming in. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use them for yet. I mean, I can always switch these over, but I have underneath in that little cubby over there already a whole gallon and gallons downstairs. I still have to do the cocoa butter, and I'm going to be doing them in this size when the time comes, and I have a case for that, plus honey. So between the honey right here, right, this is the cocoa butter, and this is the honey, okay? I have to, what do you call it? Take them out of their containers and jar them up and put them away in long-term storage. And use one 500 ml, 1 pint at a time. It will just be better, right? It will last longer, stay fresher. So, I'm trying to make a decision here. Do I put this in here and fill up these jars, or keep these empty so that when I get into my other buckets and stuff, because I want to empty them out, that's what they're there for. So, being that I want to use these, I should be using these once a week. This is peas. They're coming in with your B vitamins, right? You can eat these ones sproutable. You can cook them and, soak them and then swell them and then cook them. You can keep them whole cooked and put them in your food, or you could make pea soup, although I got split peas. I have green split peas and I have yellow split peas, so right, you got to keep this stuff kind of handy. So, I think what I'm going to do, decisions. This is the cranberry. When I got that big box of cranberry, outside of what I canned, this is really good. I have to get it out of the plate. And then, what's this? Oh yes, this is the first batch of beets that I did, but I got a whole lot more than that now, which actually might fill up a whole jar. So there's an idea. I'm going to take these out. I'm going to put this on the table over here, because this is what I'm trying to clear off now. You can see. Right? I have a little system going. So, I'll get this half cleared off today, you'll see. I'll put this on the table. This is that blender. Let's take a look at it. And that will, I'll just leave it on the table so that Andre and I can start planning to make something. Oh boy. It's been sitting there for a while. I got a little stuck. Obviously it has rubber on it. Hold on a minute. See, what I like about this one, it has 3 bowls. This one, this bowl here, for these types of blenders, they're hard to find. But this is like old, right? I've had this for years. Okay? I bought this. It's okay. I have other ones that I bought from Value Village. We'll do another. I did a video on that once before, and I'm going to keep one out of them because they have grinders and shit. But in the meantime, I'm going to take this one, right? Because I'm going to teach Andre, right? I'm going to put this on the table and move the other stuff off the table. I'm going to move this in there. We'll figure it out. And then, because this is on the table, it will motivate me to continue clearing off my counter. And then Andre and I can get into some cookbooks and we can start baking. Okay, so I decided to put those potatoes in the other jar, but you can see it's not full. Now these are new, right? So these are going into long-term food storage along with the other jar that I have downstairs. And when I get downstairs and I'm into jars, that's when I'll put oxygen absorbers into these jars as well as the other jar, right? For long-term storage. Because I have some of this stuff underneath my cupboard. Over there and over there. So in the meantime, I have potatoes that are coming to the end of their life, right? That, you know, I can top off this jar. They're not red potatoes, but that's okay. So we know what we're going to do with those 2 jars. And then this, I plan on making little flatbreads with. Now I have some underneath my cupboard. This is just the tail end of what I ordered, right? And I did this a few times. We know that. So whether I go underneath the cupboard and top it off or just put this off to the side and remains to be seen. Now this, just want to talk about powder milk again. Powder milk, depending on the milk, especially if it's skim fat milk, instant skim milk, this can last a long time. Okay, now I bought these on sale for 99 cents a pack. I think there's like 6 packs in there. I've always had intentions to put them in a jar. So that's what we're going to do right now. Hold on. Okay, so my goal for the end of the day, well, not even the end of the day, over the next couple of hours, I'm kind of excited, people. Tisha comes, the table's always full. And I'm like, as if I don't know, right? In the old days, I used to have, walnuts all over the table, people? And then remember all that canning I did back in, oh God, all those years, those jars I show you now? That table has always been full of food. Anyway, I'm clearing off the table for the most, I don't have very much room on my table, but once it's cleared off, I'm going to show you. And as a reward for myself, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to grab a little set. I have a couple sets to choose from of grow lights, specifically designed for a table, right? And I'm going to set that up. And that will be our first starting stages of learning how to use grow lights. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. And it's my little science center. You'll see what's going on in there. So in the meantime, that's the goal for, I don't know, what time is it now? Oh my God, it's already 11:30. So by 3 o'clock, my table should be pretty much cleared off. I'm just moving things, putting shit in boxes, jarring it up, whatever. The boxes, what I took off the table, I'll deal later because I have to get into my cupboards and figure out what I want access to first before other things. And I'm going to get into cooking. This here is, I guess you could say another Carnation product. Right. Okay. It smells perfectly fine. It looks perfectly fine. You can see it doesn't fill up the whole jar, but I have other skim milk powders over there in the small bathroom that are still in bags that I wouldn't mind getting into and putting into jars. So I might take one of those 1 gallon jars that's coming in the mail and do that, because I know for a fact there's some of that in there. And when I cut into that bag, I'll know whether it's good or not. The point is this stuff can last for a long time, okay? And maybe you don't drink milk, and that's okay, right? But you have to think about other people in the house that could benefit from those calories and those nutrients that come directly from milk. And not only that, but you can put this stuff into gravies and, you know, I mean, you don't have to drink it, right? You can just cook with it, right? So I want to, now, I have to get into making more puddings and bread puddings and that kind of stuff for Amari, right? Build on Amari's side dish cookbook. All right. Like last night, I gave him sardines with mayonnaise and cottage cheese, and boy, he just gobbled it up. You know, just gobbled it up, people. So, when I find the other stuff, I can top this off, but I'll keep this, like, close by where I can use it. Or I'll take it downstairs because I have other ones over there. So I'll eventually top this off, and then I'll take it downstairs and put it in Auntie Shimei's room, because there it's nice and cool. What was I going to say? I guess that was it for now. So yeah, the news flash. As soon as I'm going to reward myself and bring up that little grow light and set it up on the table, and then maybe over the next couple of weeks we'll get into the little bit of hydroponics. All right, that will be fun. I'm still trying to figure out where I can set up a little system upstairs where it's not going to interfere. Like, I can't really put it in the bathroom because I do my laundry with a wash tub, right? I don't use the fancy dancy machines. I like the old ones with you can fill up the tank with water and you can let it soak. You can control the, whatever it is that you're doing with the wash tub. So I have it over here. And then, because, outside the stairs, and it's just, I never use the dryer, people, ever. Never. I haven't used that dryer downstairs in I don't know how many years. I hang everything. So I have this little spot in the bathroom where I hang, the socks and the face cloths and that kind of stuff, the smaller things. And I'm like, oh God, I'd like to put that little grow thing into there, but it's just not possible. So maybe over here, I might try and rig something up, but it's gonna have to be on the table for now, right? just they're these little, I don't know. We'll find out, right? Okay, so this is 2 boxes of Tang at 60 pouches per box. So basically 120 pouches, okay, of Tang. And I'm going to be timesing this by 2. So I'm just showing you how to put it away for long-term food storage versus leaving them in their boxes, which I said to Andre we're going to do something with the boxes in terms of quote-unquote art. We'll talk about it when that time comes. In the meantime, I had Andre open up the boxes and bag them up for me. Look how nice he did that. So I have to fix that, put that down. I'm not going to get them all into this one little box, but that's better than 2 big boxes. And then I'll do it again. Hold on. So 1 box done, you can see. And then we know what we're going to do with those, right? And if the world breaks out in war and the economy tanks, I'm good to go, people. Okay, so I'm down to 1 jar. I love these jars.
Just 1 jar?
Well, with the big ones. But that's okay. Let me just talk about garlic powder. Since I bought it, it's shrunk down. It's gonna do that. How much it's gonna take over long term, I don't know. I haven't even opened this yet. I don't know what I should do with it in terms of storage. I know I don't want to keep it in this. So I should break it up. Right? 1 into quart size, and then whatever's left. And then this container I can wash and basically use for rice. I got other rices around too. Where this one is a jasmine rice. Alright, so hold on. Okay. There was a table under all that. So this is our little homeschool center. Remember back in the day we were making Lucky Charms? Well, they're still here, people. Some of them got pennies in them. They just need to be dusted off. When I go out in the public with my petition, I have a whole box of these things all nicely dried, shined up, bagged up, 10 per bag or something like that to make more. Look at that. They do well. Hanging up like this. These are necklaces. I have a very dusty house. I can still feel the oil, the coconut oil. Anyway. So now, I've been thinking to take this downstairs, but I don't know, I like it. That's another day. That's a big chore. Those are antler ears. Antler ears. Those are elk antlers. I'm pretty sure that's what those are. But they're huge, though. So now I'm going to go get one little grow light for here and a tray. Just start with that. And I have solutions and all that, but we're just going to start with this stuff. All right, just start small. And then these are my little fancy dancy little glasses. I'll keep those out. I'm going to wash them, shine them up, and make music. All right. And then I found this on my table. So I think I'm going to look for some chicken. And use some of that jasmine rice. And I'm going to attempt to make milk today. Yeah. Oops, what was that? Okay. It wasn't long before my table got bunked up again, but besides that point. So this is something that I bought. I don't know. Seems kind of lopsided. There it is. Now it's okay. These things, when I looked online, honest to God, I thought they were like little. I bought 2 packs of these. Anyway, they come. This is just 1 pack. I really thought they were very little. They look so little online, but besides that point. So these are for microgreens, all right? It looks like they gave me some paper with it. So I guess it depends on the seed. All right. I'm not sure. And then, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. And then I've got some, where is that stuff? Oh boy. This stuff here. I'm going to try different grow mediums. This is a hemp fiber grow mat. You can see. So I'll try with the paper, with the very fine ones, and then maybe we'll try this one. All right? I've got other ones downstairs too. And then, because you have to give them a blackout time after you put your seeds in, you cover them up for a while, a couple, 2-3 days or whatever it is, depending on the seed. And I bought weights. I'll go get them. I bought like weights, lifting weights, but I bought 10-pound weights and 2.5 weights. So 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. They should probably fit in here nicely to hold that down when I'm ready. And then this has a lid. And you can order more, assuming that they still have it. Assuming that they still have it. Look at that. And that helps to keep things warm and moist. And then it has to breathe. Right? This is just going to be one system. Right? And then I'm going to buy again. So I can have for seed starting. And plus I get 2 extra racks. So if I want to have a bigger plant in there, I can. Like pineapple. I want to grow pineapple plant. I got a Venus flytrap plant. Seeds, that is. So hold on. Oh, wow. that's our first little system going on here. Lucky me, it kind of snugged itself nice in this. Now, when you start out, you don't need the 2 trays, obviously, right? So I'll put one off to the side. I don't know where I'm going to put it. But anyway, we'll start with the bottom down here, and because otherwise they're not going to get enough light. You see? And then I'll order again. So if and when I ever get a big plant and I want to keep it, I don't know what I'm doing, people. But what do you think? Huh? That's our first little hydroponic grow light. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go, right? Okay, so it's like January 10th, right? 2021. Oh, sorry, 2022. And you know, these guys with this fucking building down here, this morning I woke up, I was in the living room, and my house was shaking, people. I thought maybe it would have been like a little mild earthquake or something, because that's what woke me up, was the moving, right, the shaking. Anyway, since like 6 o'clock this morning, these big ass fucking dump trucks, back and forth again, parked right outside my house, down here on the cement. It's cracking open more. I'm walking down the road, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, the freaking cement now is cracking down there. Right? And 2 months, a month and a half ago, they were pounding, ripping shit up. Now they're back ripping shit up again. Like, what the fuck? They're changing the foundation of my house. And of course, they're not going to take any responsibility, right? In the back where they built that other stuff, for old folks that sit and fucking empty, ripped out 100 fucking trees. My neighbor, her trees are falling down out of the ground with root rot because of water saturation. Her freaking garage lived there for 22 years, never flooded, not once. It floods all the time now since they built that fucking building over there where all the walnut trees were. All right? You know, these guys that are building this shit, they're just ruining every fucking thing. Okay. So, you can see, this is yogurt. All of it's Greek yogurt except for 1 tub, I think. And then I've got some more drying in the bathroom right now. One is a peach yogurt, and then the other ones are just plain. And they were from a month or 2 or 3 back, sitting downstairs in Auntie Shemay's fridge, unopened. Okay. So when I opened them up, they were perfectly fine. But definitely, I like a thicker yogurt, like a Greek yogurt. I think there's 2 in the bathroom that are more like a Greek yogurt, same brand, but I didn't see the word Greek, but it was thick. When I put it onto the tray, it was thick. And I find it dries better. Anyway, I like this. You can see how much I got so far, right? So what I'm going to do now is, when I transfer 1 tray in the bathroom and make it available, because it's almost dry, so those pieces will go in the bowl and then I'll grind them up. But anyway, this powder, before I jar it, I'm going to put it on that tray, and I'm going to continue drying it just for a little while longer because it's just been grinded. So before I jar it up, what I'm trying to say is I want to make sure it's nice and dry. And it smells really good, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Okay, so now it's, I think, the 11th, January 2022. Those are 3 pineapple tops that are pretty much at the end of their day. But I'm going to put them in water that's been sitting on my counter for quite a long time. And I'm going to put them in that little greenhouse thing that I have. And we're going to see if we can start growing pineapple plants. Okay, so, as silly as it seems, this is our first little project. Now, mind you, these things are at the end of their life here. So whether they bounce back and root and reflower, it remains to be seen. But And I also have an old avocado with a seed in it. So I'll probably put that in there as well. And then this side, I'm going to start with, I don't know, either sprouts or microgreens. And what I'll probably end up doing when it turns out to be microgreens is I'll put a little shelf inside and I'll bring it up higher. Because, you know, certain things have to be to the height of your lights. But this is our first little setup. Now I ordered another one of these. I like this. This is nice. So at some point, if this starts to grow, I can stack it up two more if I want. Okay. Anyway, we're just working with 2 at a time. And then I bought the reflector to make my own indoor greenhouse tent, or to reflect the light so it's not so, right? Because this is right by Andre's computer. This technically has to be on for 16 hours a day. So in a situation like that, I may want to, but, you know, in one of my sewing moments, I would sew a tent and build in reflectors as well as add in zipper. I'd do something, a frame, right? So that if I wanted to bring it into a blackout period, I could. Because when you start seeds, you have to have a blackout period at one point. Or if I just wanted to insulate the light so that, you know, when you come in, I took out the organ and I gave the organ to a little Lamé. I think that one's going to play piano. But you can see, you come in and it's like this right here is glaring back drafting. So you can really see it. So in a situation like this, I don't know. This is adjustable. So I can put it here. I can put it here. And then as, say, these grow, add another layer. I could stack it still. And come spring, because I'll have an extra tray with an extra lid. It will be good for sprouting seeds for the garden. Maybe even under a grow light. Because I have other grow lights. This is just the first one that I'm starting with. And I plan on putting these little contraptions, I guess you could say, throughout the house. Just as a learning process for everybody that's around. Right? So that's our first little setup. And we're going to see what happens with those pineapple plants. Well, pineapple tops that probably should have went into the compost. Or at least turned into plant food. This is all my plant food that I made with scraps. So we'll learn about pH in the water and how to adjust it, all of that stuff.